In most races, the fastest car wins. In the Dakar Rally, the car that doesn't break wins. This is a race where drivers cross deserts for 2 weeks straight, get lost on purpose, sleep in tents, and if the car fails, you're done. And from 2000 to 2026, only a few cars were tough enough to survive and win Dakar. 2000, the buggy that looked like a go-kart on steroids. Let's kick off with the year 2000. Jean-Louis Schlesser won driving the Schlesser Renault buggy. Now this wasn't your typical rally car. This thing looked like someone took a dune buggy, strapped a massive Renault engine to it, and said, yeah, that'll do. Schlesser literally designed this car himself. It had no doors, barely any bodywork, and it was powered by a screaming V6 engine. But here's the thing, it was light, it was fast, and it could handle sand like nothing else. Schlesser had already won in 1999, and he did it again in 2000, proving that sometimes the weirdest looking car is the fastest. 2001, the first woman to ever win Dakar. In 2001, something historic happened. Jutta Kleinschmidt became the first and only woman to ever win the Dakar Rally. She was driving a Mitsubishi Pajero with co-driver Andreas Schulz, and she absolutely dominated. This was massive. In a sport dominated by men, Kleinschmidt proved that skill, strategy, and guts matter more than anything else. She beat everyone, and to this day, no other woman has won the car category. Legend. 2002 to 2003. Masuoka goes back-to-back. Hiroshi Masuoka won back-to-back in 2002 and 2003, both times driving a Mitsubishi Pajero with co-driver Andreas Schulz. Masuoka was a Japanese rally legend, and he made it look easy. Mitsubishi was absolutely unstoppable during this era. They had the best car, the best team, and they were just destroying everyone else. Masuoka's wins kicked off what would become the most dominant streak in Dakar history. 2004 to 2005, Peterhansel starts his reign. Enter Stefan Peterhansel. This guy is basically the Michael Jordan of Dakar. He'd already won 6 times on motorcycles, and then he switched to cars and kept winning. In 2004 and 2005, Peterhansel won driving a Mitsubishi Pajero with co-driver Jean-Paul Cottret. These two were an absolute machine. Peterhansel is calm, calculated, and ridiculously fast. Cottret is one of the best navigators in the world. Together, they were unstoppable. Quick pause. If you like understanding insane motorsport without the boring stuff, hit subscribe, because from here on, Dakar gets even crazier. 2006, Alphand breaks the streak. In 2006, Luc Alphand and co-driver Gilles Picard won in a Mitsubishi Pajero, breaking Peterhansel's back-to-back streak. Alphand was a former Olympic skier who switched to rally racing, and he proved he could win at the highest level. But Mitsubishi's dominance was far from over. 2007, Peterhansel does it again. In 2007, Peterhansel and Cottret won their 3rd Dakar together, once again in a Mitsubishi Pajero. This was Mitsubishi's 7th consecutive win, 7 years in a row. That's like winning the Super Bowl every single year for nearly a decade. But then something happened. The 2008 Dakar Rally was cancelled due to terrorism threats in Africa. The race had always been held in Africa, but after the cancellation, it moved to South America in 2009. This changed everything. 2009, Volkswagen crashes the party, enter Volkswagen. They showed up with the Volkswagen Touareg TDI, and it was an absolute weapon. Giniel de Villiers and co-driver Dirk von Zitzewitz won in 2009, breaking Mitsubishi's stranglehold on the race. Volkswagen won 10 out of 13 stages. They didn't just win, they dominated, and they were just getting started. 2010, Carlos Sainz wins his 2nd Dakar. In 2010, Carlos Sainz and co-driver Lucas Cruz won in a Volkswagen Race Touareg 2. Sainz had won his 1st Dakar back in the 1990s, and now he was back on top. Volkswagen took 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. It was a complete podium sweep. But then, just like Mitsubishi before them, Volkswagen pulled out of Dakar to focus on other racing series. Winning Dakar is expensive, and manufacturers come and go. 2011, Al-Attiyah wins his first. In 2011, Nasser Al-Attiyah and co-driver Timo Gottschalk won in a Volkswagen Touareg 3. This was Al-Attiyah's first Dakar win, and it wouldn't be his last. Al-Attiyah is from Qatar, and he's one of the most consistent drivers in Dakar history. He doesn't always have the fastest car, but he's smart, strategic, and rarely makes mistakes. 2012 to 2014, Mini Cooper goes off-road. Now here's where it gets weird. Mini Cooper, the tiny British car that looks like a toy, decided to build a rally raid car, and it worked. Stefan Peterhansel and Jean-Paul Cottret won 3 times in a row from 2012 to 2014 in the Mini All 4 racing. This car was a beast. It had a diesel engine, massive suspension travel, and it could fly over sand dunes like it was nothing. Peterhansel was now up to 8 Dakar wins in the car category. The man is a machine. 2015, Al-Attiyah wins in a Mini. In 2015, Al-Attiyah and co-driver Mathieu Baumel won in a Mini All-4 racing. This was Al-Attiyah's second Dakar title, and it proved he could win with different manufacturers. But then Peugeot showed up, and things got even crazier. 2016 to 2017, Peugeot's wild experiment. Peugeot didn't just build a rally car, they built something that looked like it came from a sci-fi movie. The Peugeot 2008 DKR and later the 3008 DKR were two-wheel drive buggies with the engine in the back. Most rally cars are four-wheel drive because, traction. But Peugeot said, now we're going to make it lighter and faster instead. And it worked. Stéphane Peterhansel and Jean-Paul Cotteret won in 2016 driving the Peugeot 2008 DKR and again in 2017 in the Peugeot 3008 DKR. Peugeot was proving that sometimes breaking the rules is the best strategy. 2018, Sainz does it again. In 2018, Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz won their second Dakar together, this time driving a Peugeot 3008 DKR. They finished 43 minutes ahead of second place, a massive gap. Sainz was now 55 years old and still winning. He's like the Tom Brady of rally racing. 2019, Toyota finally breaks through. For years, Toyota had been trying to win Dakar. They'd come close, but they could never quite get it done. Then in 2019, Al-Attiyah and Mathieu Baumel finally won in a Toyota Hilux. This was huge. The Hilux is basically the most reliable truck on the planet, and Toyota proved it could also be the fastest. Al-Attiyah won by 46 minutes, which in Dakar terms is a massive gap. This was also the first time a petrol-powered car won in the South American era. Everyone else was running diesels, but Toyota stuck with petrol and it paid off. 2020, the closest finish in Dakar history. In 2020, Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz won their third Dakar together, this time driving a mini JCW buggy. This was one of the closest finishes in Dakar history. Sainz beat Al-Attiyah by just 2 minutes and 12 seconds after more than 5,000 kilometers of racing. Think about that. After nearly a week of racing through deserts, mountains, and sand dunes, the difference was 2 minutes. That's insane. 2021, Peterhansel makes history. In 2021, Stéphane Peterhansel and new co-driver Edouard Boulanger won in a mini JCW buggy. This was Peterhansel's 8th Dakar title in the car category, bringing his total Dakar wins to 14, 6 on motorcycles and 8 in cars. He's the only person to ever win Dakar on 3 different continents: Africa, South America, and Asia. Peterhansel is 59 years old now and still competing. Absolute legend. 2022 to 2023, Al-Attiyah and Toyota dominate. Al-Attiyah and Mathieu Baumel won back-to-back in 2022 and 2023, both times driving a Toyota GR-DKR Hilux. His 2023 win was his 5th Dakar title, putting him in elite company. Al-Attiyah and Baumel had been racing together since 2015, and they become one of the most successful driver-navigator teams in Dakar history. They knew each other's every move, and it showed. 2024, Audi's electric gamble pays off. Now this is where things get wild. In 2024, Carlos Sainz and Lucas Cruz won their 4th Dakar together, but this time they were driving an Audi RSQ e-tron. And here's the kicker, it was electric. Well, sort of. The Audi had an electric motor powered by a small petrol engine that acted as a range extender. It was basically a hybrid, and it was Audi's first ever Dakar win. Sainz is now 61 years old and still winning. He's won Dakar with 4 different manufacturers: Volkswagen, Peugeot, Mini, and Audi. That's like winning the World Cup with 4 different countries. It's absurd. 2025, Saudi Arabia gets its first home winner. In 2025, Yazid Al-Raji and co-driver Timo Gottschalk became the first Saudi driver to win Dakar on home soil. They were driving a Toyota Hilux for overdrive racing, and they won by just 3 minutes and 57 seconds, the second closest finish in Dakar history. This was a huge moment for Saudi Arabia, which has been hosting the rally since 2020. The entire country went crazy. Al-Raji also became the first privateer team to beat the factory teams in years. 2026, Al-Attiyah makes it 6, and finally, we get to 2026. Al-Attiyah and new co-driver Fabien Lequin won their 6th Dakar title together, this time driving a Dacia Sandreader. Yes, Dacia, the budget car brand owned by Renault. Al-Attiyah finished 9 minutes and 42 seconds ahead of Nani Roma in a Ford Raptor. Al-Attiyah is now tied with Stéphane Peterhansel for the most Dakar car wins ever, 8 titles each. Oh, and in the motorcycle category, Luciano Benavides won by just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. After a week of racing, that's the closest finish in Dakar history. So, what have we learned? From 2000 to 2026, we've seen some absolutely wild driver-navigator teams and cars win Dakar. We've had buggies, SUVs, hybrids, and even electric cars. We've seen manufacturers like Mitsubishi, Volkswagen, Peugeot, Mini, Toyota, Audi, and Dacia all take victories. But here's the thing, Dakar isn't just about having the fastest car. It's about the partnership between driver and co-driver. The navigator is reading the roadbook, calling out every turn, every hazard, every dune. One mistake and you're lost in the desert. The winners are the teams who balance speed with survival. They're the ones who can drive flat out for 5,000 miles without making a single critical mistake. They trust each other completely. And that's why in Dakar, the winning car isn't the fastest. It's the one that survives the desert. Thanks for watching.